You're listening to the Beyond Measurements and Image podcast, where we build healthier lifestyles, elevate your well-being, and transform lives. Welcome to BMI.
I'm your host, Dr. Drew Crawford. I'm a board-certified gastroenterologist and obesity medicine specialist. Thank you for joining me today on Beyond Measurements and Image. Today's Black Friday. Probably a lot of you are out shopping and have a full belly from yesterday. I just wanted to send a quick episode and tell everybody thanks for being a part of the BMI podcast. It seems as though oftentimes we just forget the real meaning of Thanksgiving. You know, it gets so commercialized and we think so much about the turkey and the dressing and all that. Really, the point is just to be thankful for what we have. And the older I get, the more I realize that, the things that we have has a whole different meaning. When I was younger, you tend to think more about material things and maybe even reaching certain goals. But as I get older, the thing that I realize that is really important, and maybe the only thing that is important, are the relationships that we have. I just want to say thanks to everybody for all the friendship and for listening to the podcast and for reaching out to me when they hear one they like and telling me what they think. It's been a lot of fun to do this, and I look forward to the next year coming up. As you're shopping today and as you're with family and maybe have full bellies and still have company at the house, take account of what you have and be thankful. In particular, I'm thankful for all my friends. I have such a great circle of friends, and I'm so lucky to have them, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I have the best family. I couldn't ask for a better family, and I'm so lucky to be a part of it. One thing that I think we all really ought to give thanks for is our health. And I know this is a health and wellness podcast, and maybe a fair number of us aren't in the health that we want to be, but at least we're taking the right steps by listening to these types of things and starting to set goals. We were at an event at my handicapped son's school, and many of those kids were in wheelchairs. They just don't get to experience the good health that we did. And so one of my sons and I, we ran home from that, and it was, 15, 20 miles. We're running, and my son, he got tired and he just sort of let his mind get away from him, and he was kind of starting to slow down. And as one of the things that we were kind of talking about for motivation was just think about those kids, right? Think about how much those kids would love to go run, right? And we just take for granted our health. And it's interesting, as he began to think about one kid in particular that was in a wheelchair, all of a sudden he was running a little faster and he was standing a little taller. And you could just tell he had an appreciation or a thankfulness or a gratitude for his health. We all take that for granted. I think it's just so easy. You wake up and you have it, even if it's not perfect health. If we're able to walk and talk and do all these things, that's our baseline norm, and we just don't give it any thought. But when you're around people that don't have that ability, it is a stark reminder of what could be. And in my profession, we see a lot of patients that we diagnose with cancers, and we just sort of see them through the progression, and they just lose their health. Don't take for granted your health, even if it's not where you want it to be. But maybe use that as a motivator to get to where you want it to be, right? Because you want to not only be healthy for the present moment, but you also want to compound that so that you have the health as you get older. And lastly, I just want to show my gratitude for this podcast, particularly for Haley, who produces this podcast every week, and for all the listeners. And I would love it if any of you would get on our website, thebmipodcast.com, or go to any of our social media outlets and just post what you're grateful for. So today's episode was really short, and I appreciate you listening. I am so grateful for all that you guys do when you participate in this little venture. So hope you have a great Black Friday and a long weekend if you have it. I'm looking forward to the upcoming Christmas season. And we've got some episodes rolling out, hopefully with some appearances from some of our previous guests, where we talk about resolution making and the things that we got to do to hold ourselves accountable so that we can get past those first few weeks and begin to grind the habits to get ourselves into the shape that we want to be. So anyhow, happy Thanksgiving. Talk to y'all next week. I'm your host, Dr. Drew Crawford. Join me next week as we go beyond measurements and image to build healthier lifestyles and elevate your well-being on the BMI podcast. See you then.